How are you? I know you're obviously in Durban with the Sharks, so how's training going?
I'm doing all right. Yeah, we've had a tough couple of weeks with the team. We haven't been
Mm.
doing well. So I'm preparing for a game tomorrow. Yeah, I'm playing tomorrow, and then I'm going on tour on Sunday to the UK for the Springboks.
Oh, so you're up and down, eh? And didn't you have an
Yeah,
injury so not too long ago?
yeah, I did, but I recovered like in a week. I was supposed to be out for a couple
Mm.
of weeks. Which one are you talking about? Are you talking about
The
the
one
long
that,
injury before?
yes, yes, yes. No, the one most recent, the most recent one.
The one that I did before the World Cup in
Mm,
2023.
mm,
Oh, that was the big one where I did my ACL, and
mm.
I did the ACL reconstruction, and I had it's normally 9 months minimum, but
Okay.
I had 5 months till the World Cup, so I made it back in 4 months, which is amazing.
Tell me, do you really know who you are? Because if you don't, you won't get that far. Everybody wants to be a superstar. Tell me, do you really know who you are? Yeah, hey.
So, Sia, let's be honest, it's a big honor to have you on our show today. It's not every day that I can chat to the rugby captain of the Springboks. So, welcome to how it all began. And I want to start at the very beginning of your journey because I feel like you are this iconic person that we see on and off the rugby field. But we all know that your journey wasn't necessarily the easiest. So I want to just shed a bit of light on that for the audience. And let's take it back to Zawiri. You grew up in a small township in Port Elizabeth. And it's been well documented. Like I said, you didn't have the easiest childhood, right? You faced hardships that most children shouldn't have to see, at that age.
Yeah,
Um, and for me, it's kind of remarkable, hearing your story and knowing that your parents they passed at quite a young age, but your granny, Norulamile, she raised you. And what are some lessons or just memories that you hold fondly of her?
yeah. Of my grandmother.
Yes, yes, yes.
Oh my goodness. I was actually speaking about it the other day.
Mm.
Honestly, I don't know where I would be without my grandmother. Um, my dad is still alive, by the way. My mom passed away. So my mom had me at 18 or 16, I'm not sure, one or the other. And she was too young to kind of look after me. And her mom, from her side, said basically, you can't have a child. And then she had me anyway, and then gave me to my grandmother, and who looked after me. She used to work in kitchens, and yeah, just cleaning people's houses and stuff. But she always managed to look after me until she had to stop working, and then that's when this real struggle really
Of
began.
course.
And yeah, my grandmother raised me in probably my most difficult period of my life. But the thing is, it was also like everybody, like I grew up this way, but we were all like this where I come from. I didn't know I was poor. I knew, of course, because I wasn't eating every day, but like we were all the same in my community. And if I was hungry, I could go to my neighbor if they had something, they would share with me. So my grandmother basically kept me positive, kept me grounded, and still kept gave me like I had good manners because of her in that period. And she always like kind of made me be content in any situation that I'm in, no matter, and not change who I am and constantly be the same. And I think some of those values remained with me and always taught me to use what I have around me. And that's all I need. She always said, whatever you have around you, it's all you need for the time that you're in. And when you used everything you can around you, another door, another opportunity will come, or something else will come that you need. So I learned my own, like my some of my greatest lessons and my values in that time in the township. Yeah.
And do you think that's also helped you be more grounded now? Because let's be honest, everyone sees you as on TikTok. I also saw they refer to you as the head boy of South Africa, and,
Yeah.
and I feel like
Yeah.
a lot of people that can kind of go to their heads. But with you, what I've noticed is you still have this the spirit of humility. Um,
Yeah, I've got good people around me, and a lot of that, like knowing that where I come from, I don't forget that, and a lot of that, like knowing that where I come from, I don't forget that, and that reminds me that all of this stuff can be taken away at any time, but can I still be the same person as I was back then? Obviously, you change and you mature, but your manners and your humanity, you can't change that at the end of the day. And I've also got my best friend that I grew up with. He's known me since I was like 5 years old, and he lives with me here in Durban. And I won't lie, sometimes I do get a big head when you achieve great things where you think you've arrived, and then I've got people around me that would like nudge me and say, hey, this is not how it be. Yeah. And I think that's important because most people that you meet in this time, they just yes sayers, everything you do, yes, you're amazing. But people that really know who you are can call you out. And it'll be hard, it's tough. I get angry, then I go to my room, do what I need to do, then I come back and I'm like to my friend, thank you so much for doing that. Thank you for reminding me who I am because it is important that you constantly be the same because everything that we get in life is temporary. Pain, glory, good things, joy. It's all like that. As long as you remain the same through it all, I think it helps quite a lot.
yeah, and if it's taken away from you tomorrow, it's those people that's being real with you and that kept it real that's still gonna be there. It's not gonna be the yes man.
Yeah,
Mm.
no, 100%.
And I always say, sometimes you need somebody just who's like they see something in you and they're willing to take a chance on you. And
Yeah,
I know that when you were 12 years old, you met Coach Eric and he kind
yeah.
of encouraged you to go to Grey High School and to pursue rugby. And tell me more about that experience and what that opportunity meant to you at the time.
So I met Eric when I was 11.
Mm.
No, you're right. I was 12. I played against his school, and we had a we they beat us. They beat us, I think, 50-0. And he
Okay.
came to me after the game and he was like, I see something special in you. I'm like, which game were you watching? We just lost 50-0. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Anyway, yeah, anyway, and then he came to me, he's like, come to my, they're playing a tournament, come help my school in this tournament. So I went and I played really well. And then he's like, next year, come to my school. I went back to my school, and it was June holidays, just before June holidays. Dropped my bags at the school, and then I went to his school. And then he took me to my first provincial trials where I played and I made the B team. I was playing in boxes, I couldn't afford shorts. You know those silky boxes in
Yes,
the
yes, yes, yes.
yeah, I played in that. So at least he said to me, if they don't remember how well you play, they'll remember you, the boy with the boxer. You're leaving them something to remember you with.
At least you're
Yeah,
memorable.
100%. Yeah. And then there were two of the other guys in my team who made the A team. And then we went to go play in the tournament. And then Gray wanted the two boys, not me. And then Eric said, you have to take this one too. And then they said no. And then he's like, okay, then you can't have these two. Then they
Oh,
found money because I was very small. I had malnutrition. I had a small head,
okay.
big ears, big feet, and hands because I wasn't eating enough. Then
Mm.
they took me, and then when I drove there, it's 15-minute drive. When I got to the school, my whole mindset changed because I looked at the building, the grass was green, it looked like carpet compared to the field that I used to play in with thorns and patches of grass, and the whole field was like brown basically because the field wasn't looked after.
Of
Then I got
course.
there, no English whatsoever. And at the township school, I was like top three smartest kids in the school. When I got to Gray, I couldn't speak a word of English.
Mm.
Yeah. So that made me feel stupid. I felt as though it was a big opportunity. I was like, do I actually belong here? And I remember receiving my first pair of socks. I was crying. I got a bed and I got shoes. I got a toothbrush. And all the other boys around me were like confused. Why is this guy getting emotional
Over
over
something
normal
that
things? Like,
yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
because at home I used to sleep on the floor and I would walk to school bare feet sometimes, So, yeah, that kind of changed my life. And I made up my mind. I said, nothing will stop me. And I was getting more than 3 meals a day. That was a luxury for me. It was amazing. Yeah.
And like you're saying, those are things for them, that's like the basic necessities. They don't think twice about,
Yeah.
like things like that. And for me, you spoke now about that you couldn't speak English. And I don't know if you saw this week with the Milnerton High School, the bullying drama that went on now recently. And
Yeah.
I'm sure also, the kids might have made fun of you as well for not being able to speak English. And so your friendship with Nick Halton, how did
Yeah.
that kind of help you to grow and adjust during this pivotal time?
Yeah, so they didn't really make fun of me. I used to run away from all the boys at break time because I couldn't speak with them. But
Mm,
then I started talking my broken English.
mm.
They actually accepted it and they spoke back to me. You know, that was a very nice thing. Then I started making fun of it so they didn't feel awkward about it. I would laugh at myself
Okay,
when I
okay,
say
I see.
something funny, you know. And then Nick, yeah, Nick I'd met when I was before I went to the school. He played in the A team with my other teammates. We kind of became friends straight away. And then when I got to his school, he used to help me with homework
Mm,
and help me. And then I would help him with Kosa a little bit so he can say a few words now. And
yes.
from then our friendship was formed, and I named my son after him. He was my best man at my
Mm,
wedding, and then yeah, we've been friends since then. I was the best man at his wedding. Now recently, I went to Peru to go that, and it's a friendship that I will cherish with me for the rest of my life. He's an amazing human being. He always flies. He lives in Australia. He will always fly when I have a big game. He will come and watch me. Now he's trying to come and watch me in Europe as well. So yeah, there's so many things I'm grateful for, and but he is one of the most important people that I met at the school.
mm. And imposter syndrome, that feeling of, you might not feel like you're good enough to be in a certain environment. Did you ever struggle with that? And more importantly, did you ever feel slightly guilty? Because now it's like you came out of Zwede and you are having all of these amazing opportunities, but now you're also seeing, kids that could also be just as great, but they didn't necessarily get that
Yeah,
opportunity.
that was the hard part. I knew I wasn't the best. There were others who were
Mm,
better than me, but they didn't get the opportunity or they weren't seen. So that was very difficult. But that encouraged me to do my best because I know how many other people out there. And the way I grew up in the township, we call it Ubuntu. I am because you are. That's how I made it
yes.
in life. You know, that's how I went to money. We had a community. Like I stay in this street, but I know 30 streets away. You tell me which house, I tell you who lives there. And if you
Mm,
go to other streets and you cause trouble, the parents will beat you and take you to your family. Like I was
yes.
raised by everyone. That's
The
why
range.
I
Yes, yes.
think I am the way I am today with the work that I do with the foundation, giving back, because I know I am nothing without other people. It doesn't matter where they are. My community in Sweden is so important to me, and wherever I go, I always share pride because those are like people don't know who don't come from the township will never
Yes.
know how amazing life is because we don't need money. We didn't, not that we didn't need money or things to have fun. We played soccer in the street, we played rugby in the street, cricket in the street, and we played all these sorts of games that didn't need, where now kids need to be indoors, they need PlayStation and all that kind of
Need the
stuff. So
iPads. Mm,
yeah, 100%. We didn't have those things, so we used things around us to make us happy.
mm. No, I hear you, and it makes you
But
appreciate
sorry,
what you have
on the imposter syndrome, I did the few like sometimes I'm like now the the accolades that I get or the people like saying how amazing I am, like it feels
more.
a certain way when I became a captain for the first time. It was
Yes.
like, oh, do I deserve to be here? You doubting yourself because
Ah,
it's something
yeah.
new, Yeah, so it does get to me, but after a while, you build your confidence and you work and you see yourself grow in that space. But one thing about me, like when I don't know something, I'm not afraid to admit it. When I'm struggling with something, I'm not afraid to admit it. So I have good teammates around me who help me become the leader that I am today. And I believe in shared leadership. I don't, I believe that we all got a point. We can all bring value towards the team, and it's not all up to me, to one person, because I can't know everything. And someone is better than me in something, I let them take the platform.
Mhm. And I love that you're willing to admit that, because if we're going to see you on the field or even like on Instagram, we'd be like, no, he knows what he's doing. So for you to so for you to share that
Yeah.
with us.
Yeah, because I want people to know you need to. We all have certain gifts,
Yes,
and you know
yes,
what you're good at,
yes.
and you should not be afraid when someone else is good. They might be very good at what they do, but they don't have what you have. And I can bring, if we're all playing in a team, the team is the most important. You can't be battling with somebody in your team because they want that. if you want the team to do well, share the spotlight. And you don't have to feel guilty about what you're not good at. You can work on it, but at least you know this is what I'm good at, and I'm gonna give my best when I do that. When someone else is doing that, like I believe as a leader, I'm a very good follower. If I'm not good at something and someone is doing it, I'll follow them. I think I'm a proper as a leader. I'm a very very good servant. I don't mind when someone else takes the reins and I have to follow them. Yeah,
And
yeah,
in 2018, when you were chosen as our first black captain, of course, which was such a monumental moment, especially given our country's history, of course, did you were you working towards that leadership position?
no, sorry. No ways. It's not
Is it?
something I've ever dreamt of or thought of.
Mm,
It just yeah. Coach Rassi knew me. He knew me. He gave me my first contract,
mm,
and I never expected it. I was grateful to be wearing the green and gold. And when I got that opportunity, it was in shock, and it took me a long time, and it affected my game a lot. I struggled to play, and then it built a leadership group around me. Everybody had a role, so I didn't have to take all the reins. And still today, we still use that. I'm not in charge of everything. There are other guys who also have led. So it was huge, and I didn't understand why it was huge because I was in every newspaper, every newspaper, anything that was happening with rugby, my name was there. And then I kind of asked, like some of my black friends, like, why? I don't understand why is this such a big thing. They're like, see, for the first time in history, someone that looks like you can dream of being there, or a person of color can dream of being there. You are the first one to ever achieve that. So now every single person in the world and every single kid in the world can believe that it's possible because it's done. 100%. Yeah, yeah,
and that's so amazing. But how does it feel? Because, let's be honest, South Africans take their rugby very seriously, right? Like I
yeah.
always say, you guys can determine a lot of people's moods after a
Moods.
game day.
I know.
You
I
know,
know. Yeah, we know that. We know, like on Mondays, if we don't do well, that people
Eh,
don't want to go to work. The economy is not doing so like.
mhm,
But we take that with us. We represent like the whole of South Africa. We know what the rugby has done in 1995, how changed with the way South Africa is going. So we know that, and we always like our coach reminds us that there are many things, many people are going through so much by us. We're doing what we love, and we can go out there and express ourselves and we are able to change people's mood. And we know winning a rugby game is not going to make the country united, but it will make the people feel good for a couple of minutes. So that's all we can do. And we carry the people, the struggling people from the township, from the farms, homeless people. When we play, we're representing all of them, and we want them to feel good for those moments. And when we've seen when we play how everybody comes together and they watch us, people open their homes, they open malls longer. Some people set up screens on the streets for people to watch, and that's the kind of power it is. But our coach was like, it's not pressure, it's privilege to be able to do what you love and you can affect people's moods. That's huge, and we don't take it lightly at all. So we play for the whole of South Africa, but we take it in our stride. We don't put it out there, but we say it, proudly that we represent everyone, and we carry, like I carry my stories with me and all those who believe in me, and we put it together for South Africa. That's our purpose, we want to achieve all these great things, but also we play for so many people who can't play for themselves. And there are many people who use their last paycheck money to pay for their children to come and watch us. We don't take that lightly.
mm. And especially in South Africa, where there's so many things that we're dealing with and that we're facing, it's like when you guys are playing for those 80 minutes, it's when people really forget about their problems. They're able
Yeah,
to just,
yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, it's good. It's good, but it's also like I wish stuff could be done. You could use the more like that's what I love rugby. I can use the momentum of us doing well in helping other people, like with the foundation, where I know people want to work with you when you're doing well. So I always drive my sponsors and whoever wants to work with me towards the foundation, so we can actually help. We don't have these big moments and not use them at all. So I would go and do talks and do fundraising to go give. We just built a field now in Sweden
Okay.
where I grew up. There's an astroturf for kids to play where it was thorns and everything on the field, the little patches of grass, and we just opened it the other day. It is so beautiful, but there's still so much more to be
So
done. And
much
my
work.
goal is to You get a bursary, you get taken out of the township. And my
Mm.
thing is this: let's bring resources to the community so that people don't have to leave. At least the kids might have a choice. It's either they stay in the township or they go in the suburbs, but they can still go in the same path. You know what I mean?
I get you. They don't have to work 10 times harder for the same basic opportunities, essentially.
Yeah, we must like for people like me. I know what it's like. It's for me
Mm.
to give back. Number one, number two, bring awareness of what's happening in the community and bring people who've never been to the town to come see. Whoever can help, it must come. I really believe when people want to help, I want them just come see what it looks like, and the feeling that because you think you're helping someone, the feeling that it does inside you, the change, it changes you internally when you go and actually see the work that you are doing, where your funding are going towards. It gives you. That's what wakes me up every day. Is that I know my dreams and goals I will never be able to achieve them in total. It's because every single day there will always be someone hungry. Every single day there's always someone
Yes.
be like with gender-based violence as well. It's a big thing. It's number one in the world. South Africa is number one in the world for GBV, and we're gonna fight to try and end that. And I know in my lifetime I probably might not be able to end it, but at least I must live in a little better place so that the next generation is fighting for something different to what I'm fighting for.
And touching on the Kolisi Foundation, of course. So, what are some of the other issues that you guys tackle? Gender-based violence and
Yeah,
access to
gender-based
education.
violence, sports and education. So we work with schools, and we have a program called Sia Pagama. It's named
Mm.
after me and my mother. My mother's name is Pagama, and obviously I'm Sia. It says "We Rise" if you put it together. And we have a program where we built the field. That's where we run our project in Sweden. And the kids they do sport after school. They get helped with homework. The other one is ending poverty. So the kids get meals at school. They get meals at school because most of the kids can't get meals at home. That was like basically what I faced. And after school is where the kids, get on trouble between
Yep,
school
yep.
the next year. So then they have sport during that time, coached by
Keep them
men and
busy.
women, 100%. Because that's when I caught on nonsense during that period of time. Yeah.
Mm, I feel you. And see, there's something I found very interesting. Your autobiography, Rise. Most people would probably like release it, during retirement, but you chose to release it during the peak of your career. Why did you feel that 2 years ago that was the perfect moment?
Because I was like, there's so many things that you don't know before you make it and become famous and popular. Not many people tell you about the temptations and challenges that you face during that time. And I wanted parents and kids
Mm.
to know what's out there and what you're going to be exposed to, the other side that people don't tell you about. Yes, there are those nice things you can buy cars and buy and look after your family, but there's other stuff that come with it. And I have so many flaws and I have so many mistakes. I'm not a perfect human being. I'm learning to be better each day, and I wanted people to know that and to know that it is okay and it's normal. You're not the only one going through it, because I don't want people to look at me and see perfection
Wow.
when, oh, I'm a nice,
Yeah.
yeah. No, I deal with so much. There's so much that I don't, and social media is just a highlights channel of all the good stuff that you do. And I mean, there's so much stuff that I struggle with that I knew I'm not alone, and I know other people are struggling with, and I wanted them to read that and maybe take one or two lessons in my story and what I've faced and what I've struggled with. And even talking about therapy, like I started seeing a therapist now that I
Okay.
could afford, because I couldn't afford when I was young, because
Yes.
there's a lot of stuff that I've learned that is not good, and so a lot of stuff that's affected me that I didn't do, that I saw from someone else. There's so much
Of
that I need
course.
to do. So I struggle at times. So it's really helped me quite a lot. And it's something in my community that's not really spoken about. I
Yes.
know from growing up, like my parents never really spoke much or expressed anything. I only had my first conversation with my dad when I was 30, when I asked him as many questions as I could about how I grew up, why was this, why is it not with my mom, and all that kind of stuff. And it made me understand him a whole lot more. And it made me not sympathy, like want to be closer, to him, because some like we always so hard on our parents, because our parents act the way that they were raised. We need to speak a bit more. And we, knowing about therapy, like my dad couldn't think of therapy. He couldn't even get a job or look after me when I was young. So if you can't buy food, where are you gonna think of paying someone to talk to you? So I learned that I had to start speaking to him, and that's what. there's a lot of homes who are fatherless, who are fatherless because men in general, don't like speaking or don't know how to speak, and that's what I tried to do with my dad. And I'm grateful that I spoke to him because I could have given up and lost him because I didn't understand how he grew up. So yeah, it's all of those things I like to speak about because I have friends who go through the same thing, who don't know their parents never talk to them, they never kiss them or show them affection. And I asked my dad all those questions like, no, this was never done to me. This is how I was raised.
Mm. And like you were saying, it's a generational thing. So if you're not going
Yeah,
to address it, if you're not willing to have those tough conversations, then
yeah.
there's never going to be any change.
You gotta break the cycle.
Mm, 100%. And Sia, one thing I also noticed was you're also quite passionate about, people supporting women's sports and attending the events. Why do you feel so strongly about that?
It's not for me. It's not just because it's sport. It's all about like, and I take it back to where I grew up. When you see someone struggle, like if I'm doing well and my neighbor is struggling, that means I'm struggling too. I need to put my hand up and help them until they do well as well. And that's how I grew up. And women's sport needs support. When I was struggling, other people put my hand, and there's no difference. And when women's sports grow, all the sports grow. There's more people watching, there's more people playing, there's more in the pot for people. And I've been helped by so many people. It would be wrong of me not to help others while I can. And my platform is there for that. I have so many women who supported me. My grandmother, my aunt, all those people have helped me get to where I am today. So I'm like, it is my duty to make sure that I help others when they need. It's not just women, it's kids and everything. So I think it's important as a sports person who has a platform to use it to help others. And if I am helping the women in rugby, if they rugby grows, rugby is growing all over the world. There's more people playing. So I think I see it that way. It's all about making sure that if you have a platform, make sure you use it to help others in a positive way. Because at the end of the day, it's not my platform. I got given it by the people. So how do I give back is by making sure I use it for the people.
Mm. Thank you, Sia. And thank you so much for joining us today. I look forward to seeing more of you, whether that's on the field or dancing on TikTok.
Thank you so
But
much. I appreciate it.
thank you.
Yeah, it's been good. Thank you for your questions. It was, yeah, it's not
Thank you.
your everyday. It's not your everyday. How's the rugby? How's the rugby? I really enjoy these kind of conversations because
Thank you so
it's
much.
conversations that are there to build and help and find a way forward. And I think most people always want to talk to me about rugby, but that's not all I am. I care so much about social issues, what's happening in communities, and I wanna help where I can. I also want to learn as well. There's so much that I can learn. So thank you so much for having me. I really enjoyed this.
Thank you, man. Thank you for making time as well. We
No
appreciate it.
problem.